We're joined by Zoom by African Transformation Movement Spokesperson Zama Ntshona. Very good afternoon to you, Zama. Thank you for your time with us here on the SABC.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you and the listeners.
All right, so on the back of the report being released by the Public Protector, let's get your reaction to the Public Protector's report. Now, having cleared President Cyril Ramaphosa of any wrongdoing, the matter, the DA having issued a statement to say that it is a form of whitewashing. Your thoughts?
Well, as the African Transformation Movement, we totally reject this particular report. We reject it because this report truly does not deal with the fundamentals and the clear violations and admissions of President Cyril Ramaphosa. How is it that the Public Protector, the acting Public Protector, missed a clear confession by the President when he was closing the Limpopo conference, where he goes as far as saying some of the seated individuals are his clients, which is a clear violation of Section 96, subsection 2B, where members of the cabinet, the President included, and deputy ministers are not to be undertaking paid work. How did the Deputy Public Protector miss that? And also, how did it happen that the Public Protector missed Section 34, subsection 1 on issues of reporting? Truly, this is why, as the African Transformation Movement, we are going to take this matter on review, because truly, it is truly unheard of. The only thing the Deputy Public Protector did was to bend over backwards to accommodate the President and protect the President.
All right, Zama, thank you for those sentiments. If I heard you correctly, the ATM is going to take the report on review, giving misgivings about the misinterpretation of what's been unearthed in this report. I want to also look at some of the other questions that have come to the fore at this point. Do you think the President could face the music when it comes to sanctions from other regulators, given South Africa's strict controls and the use of foreign currency? Is this a way at this point for him to also face the music? How do you weigh in on that, given that the Public Protector's report didn't look at that or the amount of cash on the farm?
Well, when you look at the laws of this country, especially on foreign exchange and issues around foreign currency, it serves the President right to face the music as far as that is concerned. Because truly, it is unheard of that with the laws of this country, with a cap of 25,000 rand, that you would have had an individual who had kept large sums of money to that extent. With the Reserve Bank clearly showing with the questions that they asked that they were not aware, which means there was no declaration, and SARS asking the question again on this matter earlier on in the year, which clearly shows that the President did not declare some of these monies. And that is truly something that we have to look into. And any form of remedial action would have assisted in this matter so that we are able to get to the bottom of it. We can't have a lawless president. We can't have a constitutional delinquent for a president.
Well, speaking of remedial action, what's your assessment at this point about the remedial action for General Root as well as Sergeant Begoto for contraventions? Your thoughts within the next 60 days?
Well, we think as the African Transformation Movement, as long as the finger points at everybody except the president, that is not going to be enough. There are just going to be the four guys, these ones, but the actual culprit, the instigator, the individual who perpetuated and actually encouraged that we find ourselves in this particular predicament remains the president. So whatever other remedial actions that are directed to other individuals who are not the president are just remedial actions to try and redirect society away from it. Not until the Public Protector is able to speak to the nitty-gritties around the issue of the president and his violations. It is only then that as the African Transformation Movement, we will believe that this issue is taken seriously.
So obviously, Zama, at this point, we're trying to make sense of the report that had been issued a little earlier on, and we're getting reactions. I wonder how you'd weigh in on the contradictions at this point, given the report by the independent panel, the Section 89 report, which found that the president, in fact, may have something to answer to. Your thoughts?
Sorry, I'm not able to hear.
Zama, I was trying to also get your thoughts on the contradictions at this point, given what was unearthed on the Section 89 report, which found that the president may have something to answer to, in contrast to obviously what was unearthed by the public protector today.
This is why it is so shocking that the public protector would arrive at a conclusion different from the independent panel. The independent panel, in 4 accounts, even by the affidavit of the president, there is something to answer. So it is truly shocking how one institution, with high level of experts, people who have protected the society from invasion, protected the law and the legalities around on legal matters in this country, had come up to a conclusion that on 4 accounts the president has a case to answer, and you have a Chapter 9 institution which is supposed to do the very same thing and arrive at a totally different conclusion, not even a case to answer. Because that's the least you expect, that there is a case to answer. But after this evaluation, that the public protectors actually delivered such a verdict. In fact, it is truly why, as the African Transformation Movement, we're going to take this on a review, because we believe that the deputy public protector might have been looking at a different case. But as far as this case is concerned, when you look at the violations and you look at the admissions, there is no way that you can come out with a different conclusion to what the independent panel had actually gotten to. So truly, as the African Transformation Movement would like to say once again, that we reject this and we're going to go to the High Court and actually have this overturned.
Zama, just let me wrap up this conversation. Obviously, speaking on the issue of accountability in our democracy at this point, what do you think the impact of this report is going to have on our Chapter 9 institution? Perhaps especially as we head into elections. I'm asking this because some are also questioning the timing of this report and given the vacancies at the Office of the Public Protector as well. Your thoughts in conclusion?
Thank you so much. As the African Transformation Movement, we believe that this is slowly adding to the eroded perception of what these institutions are doing. There has been much talk in the 5th administration and now in the 6th administration of how the organs of state and how state institutions are used to advance political ideals. And with such decisions, you can't run away from the fact that this is also pouring petrol into the fire. It is fueling the thoughts that are out there in the public space that these institutions, when it comes to independence, are questionable. When it comes to impartiality, are beginning to showcase questionable characters. And if you follow how the Deputy Public Protector, Advocate Galega, has been going about conducting this particular issue, you would definitely see that there are landmarks, pivotal landmarks along the way that pointed that this would be the only conclusion she would get to. And if that is the case, then we have a problem. Our democratic, our constitutional democracy needs to be salvaged, needs to be saved, and be saved from any form of invasion and any form of capture, because this particular decision does not really give confidence to us that we can trust. And on the issue of these institutions being used, especially on the eve of an election, that is a definite question to be asked. Are we cleaning up the president so that he looks presidential for 2024, but not on our watch? This is not going to be done at the expense of South African law. The African Transformation Movement would definitely make it a point that we deal with this issue decisively, the president will not have the last word on this matter, because he has said it himself. He is as guilty as charged.
Zama, just very quickly, I know I said that was my last question. I think just some of the sentiments floating around, do you think that this scandal was on par with his predecessor? If so, why, in terms of violation of oath of office?
Well, I wouldn't want to compare the extent of the violation, but what is clear is that Section 96, subsection 2B, that, if you look at a letter that was written by the president back in 2013, 2014, when he assumed deputy presidency, in anticipation of him actually violating the Executive Members Ethics Act, he said he was going to put together an entity that was actually going to look into his businesses, because he knew back then. Now, an individual who knew 6 years or so before violating that, when we asked him in Parliament, he said he has not, but he wanted to use the issue of declaring as a scapegoat when the law is very clear on the matter. We believe that for violation. Hello?
All right, Zama, I think we're losing you there for now, but I want to thank you for your time with us and for your reaction on the back of the Public Protector's report that had been released today.